trouble because he's hanging on for dear life right now, and he's a couple punches away from being out of this fight.
Barkley trying to tee off on Eddie Hall. Hall still caught a good punch on Barkley, but it is Hall that is now glassy-eyed of sorts.
They're both in trouble. You're right, Sam.
I think it was an absolute exchange of left hooks that caught right on the button of both of them.
And they're both tired. They're both in trouble in this next to last round. Ed Hall's really wobbly now.
1 minute to go in this 7th. Throw out the even rounds. Take the odd rounds. This has been a whale of a fight.
They're both fatigued right now, and they're just wailing away. Either man could go. Hall really looks tired, though.
You see him exchanging punches. Keep in mind, one of the judges did not show tonight. Referee, the altar one, Tony Perez, is the 3rd judge here tonight. He does, of course, do some judging in the New York area, obviously here in New Jersey as well, but again, he will be called on, I'm sure, before this one could be over. Come up with a decision as we're closing in on the end of round 7.
And they are both still standing, and that is news.
The bombs have been thrown by both camps. The final decision still to come in the 8th and final round.
You'll see that as they trade left hooks. Oh, yeah, you were absolutely right, Sam. They both traded left hooks. They were both hurt. Hall a little more so, I think. Barkley having a hard time with his balance. Oh, wow, did they catch left hooks right at the same time.
It is rather easy to laugh at this, but nonetheless, those hurt.
Eddie, don't get careless. You have him knocked up. You see going on him. You got a jab. You send him back up in again. You hear me? Keep your hands up, and when you go with him, finish up with a right uppercut. He's bending down. He's wide open on this area. He's hanging in here like this. He's a right uppercut, all right? When he's bending down. Don't get careless. Fighting spurts, you know what I mean? Do it. You're nice and loose. Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, round 8, the final round. Eddie Hall and Iran the Blade Barkley.
You'll see again the 2 left hooks from yet another angle. You can see that Barkley was hit hard. Hall was really wobbled. And he was having all kinds of trouble staying on his feet.
Well, will it go the distance, or is this it? This is indeed the last round. But there's 3 minutes to find out if one will be standing or if they'll both finish for a decision call, which could be very close.
And will we get a good round and an even round? We'll find out.
The odd ones have been the best ones so far. It looks like 8 is picking up its tempo for a good even round. Right hand by Hall.
Well, that's the punch he's used throughout the evening. By scoring, he has a little bit of an edge to Iran Barkley, 2-1, but boy, this fight could be extremely close.
This is the 8th and final round. Hall saw him duck away from Iran Barkley's right cross that time. Barkley looks a little shaky on his legs right now. I have to admit, as he kind of stepped backwards. There's a right hand by Hall, followed with a good left hook.
Hall
being right by Hall.
Excuse me, Sam. Sorry. Hall is waiting to drop that right hand in. And he's landed it a lot. He hasn't been able to put Barkley down, but he's stunned him with that punch. They must know it's an even round. They're very cautious, even though it's the last round.
Keep in mind that both of these gentlemen are young fighters in the middleweight division. They need something to kind of pep them up and kind of get them going for a possible situation and a shot at the top. This fight, and of course, more ESPN exposure in 1985 will be just exactly what both of these are hoping for.
Iran Barkley, I think, is letting Ed Hall off the hook a little bit here. He needs to be pressuring him, and I've got him ahead this morning, but that is not necessarily what the judge is doing.
Just a minute to go in the 8th and final round. Good exchange by Hall. Barkley trying to stay downstairs with the body.
Barkley putting his punches together on the inside fairly well. going the body a little bit more. When he's in close, he is a better body puncher. Now, they want to make Ed Hall a better boxer, and you can see that Richie Giacchetti has made some strides in that area. But he reverts back to slugging when he gets in trouble.
Under a half a minute to go in the 8th and final round. Both fighters have just fought beautifully.
Barkley's in trouble. He was hurt with that right hand.
Barkley really staggered his Hall, trying to unload in the final seconds. Oh, Barkley gets a right hand in on Hall.
Here, ladies and gentlemen. What a fight.
Well, good luck at both of these fighters. You see going to the far corner, that's Eddie Hall. He's undefeated in his first 10 fights. Will he stay that way? Well, it'll be interesting because Iran Barkley has given him all he wanted in this ring tonight in Atlantic City.
For all the fights we've done here at the Superstar and for all the good resorts, for all the good ones we've seen in this particular venue, I've never seen the crowd get to their feet, and they have for this fight.
Hall tried to get some action near the end of the 8th round, hopefully to sway a judge or two out.
You can see a good right hand here, I believe. Yes.
Oh.
That one had Barkley reeling a little bit. That one just missed, and it followed that left hook. And Ed Hall showed us a better left hook than we thought he would. And as you look at Iran Barkley, wow, another war for him. This fight not too dissimilar from the fight that he had with Robbie Sims. When he beat Frank Minton on August 18th, 1983, that also was a war. So Iran has been in some tough ones, and Ed Hall, for his debut on ESPN, in any case, fought pretty well.
Now we want to make people very aware of it. That was not the main event. These are two fine middleweights, but they get better. We've got Robbie Sims and Mike Tenley in our main event, and it's just around the corner here on Top Rank Boxing from the Superstar at Resorts International. Well, how do you pick it? Well, see if you're right on with the judges, including one of the referees. And here is Michael Buffer with the official decision on tonight's fight. Mike?
Ladies and gentlemen, before I give the official scoring, I'd like to announce that Top Rank Incorporated has decided to give each fighter $500 addition to their purse for such a great fight. Now here, ladies and gentlemen, is the official scoring. Judge Frank J. Cairo scores it 4 rounds to 3, 1 round even for Barkley. Judge Lawrence Wallace scores it 4 rounds to 3, 1 round even for Hall. Judge Tony Perez scores it 6 rounds to 2 for the winner. By majority decision from Uniontown, ladies and gentlemen, Eddie Hall.
Well, there you heard as the referee, the third judge in this case, that would be Tony Perez, ruled it at 6-2. And the decision going to this man, Eddie Hall, who stays unbeaten 11-0. We'll visit with him. We'll continue with more after this timeout.
I have both the winner and the loser, if you can say anybody lost this fight. On my right, Eddie Hall, who fought extremely well in his debut. And on my left, we have Iran Barkley. I want to bring Iran in first. Iran, you fought an excellent fight. Obviously, it was close, at least on 2 of the judges' scorecards. Did you feel you had a win?
Well, Eddie is a good fighter, and he was working for it. And tonight was his night, you know. That's all I can say. All I can do is just go back to the gym, work hard, and come back. It was his night.
Okay, you'd like to get hit a little bit less, I think, with some counter shots.
I will. So I go back to the gym, I work on it, and come back.
Okay, Iran Barkley indeed fought an extremely good fight, but maybe some defensive problems hurt him. This man, Ed Hall, your first time that we've seen you here on Top Rank Boxing, I know that Richie Giacchetti kept screaming at you not to get wild, and it seemed that's when you got in trouble, when you got a little wild and slugged with him.
Yes, I got to work on some more things, but it'll come. It takes time, it takes training, and I'm just developing to a fighter, so I just have to keep trying harder and harder.
Tough to fight a guy like Iran Barkley. You had him in trouble, but God, he came back every time.
Yes, he's a great fighter. I can't take nothing from him, but I'm just, thank God I won. And
all right, we'll show you some of that action, Ed, and perhaps you can comment on it. You both got hit with left hooks here.
yes, he caught me. I'm left-handed, but I need some work. I was hurt a couple of times, but I got good. I'm good in shape. I'm in good shape, but I just thank God that I won.
All right, quickly, Richie Giacchetti, your report card.
Well, see, like he says, when he was jabbing and keeping to his game plan, he had no problems. He's dropping the right hand in, catching him with the left hook. See, I call it a delayed left hook. Everybody wants to throw a fast left hook, but if you lay in there...
Resorts International Casino Hotel on the boardwalk in Atlantic City. Let's get ready to rumble. This bout is scheduled for 8 rounds, and it's in the middleweight division. The referee for this contest is Randy Newman. And now introducing first in the red corner, wearing the blue trunks with white letters, he's from Suitland, Maryland. He weighs 161 3/4 pounds with a professional record of 4-3-3. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Osley Sensational Silas. And his opponent in the blue corner, wearing the red trunks with white trim, he's from the Big Apple, New York City. He weighed in at 160 1/2 pounds, and his professional record, 9 victories, only 3 losses, 6 by knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, Iran, the Blade, Barkley.
Well, as the referee, Randy Newman, summons the two fighters for a quick word on the rules update.
Both aware of the rules of the state of New Jersey. Just want to go over them briefly. You can fight inside as long as you want. Once you start holding and pushing, I'm going to ask you to break. Is that clear? Any questions? Remember, defend yourselves at all times. Shake hands and come out at the bell.
These two guys don't like each other. I think you could tell very clearly there. Is in the red corner is Osley Silas. Suitland, Maryland, again, 161 3/4, while Iran Barkley out of New York, 160 1/2. Iran Barkley was the young man on ESPN who fought Eddie Hall with that exchange of left hooks that almost knocked them both out. And they both got a $500 bonus for that fight that night. He never disappoints you as far as his aggressiveness, and he comes right out after Silas, who won their first fight back in 1983. In a 6-rounder, it was a good slugfest after Barkley had started off so good in his career, 3-0 out.
Yeah, people were very surprised when Silas beat Iran Barkley. And he is the first one to expose some of the problems Iran has had with defense, getting hit a little bit too often. Iran Barkley, for a while, I think ESPN was considering paying him for his ringside review appearances. He had so many, kept getting in those great fights. He was a monthly regular on ringside review.
As a matter of fact, our fight of the year, we had about 3 of his fights that were candidates anyway for the fight of the year on our end of the year review.
You could forget his battle with Robbie Sims early in 1983. That was astonishing.
He, by the way, lost that, knocked out by Sims here in Atlantic City, January the 6th of '84. It went down in 6, but what a first 5 and 6 rounds that was.
Barkley has a tremendous left hook. That's the big knockout punch for him. And he uses it often, that and a jab.
Talking to Silas before this fight, he had anticipated this rematch to come quite a bit before this, almost 2 years now. So they've had to wait a long, long time before this rematch finally got untracked and on the books, and now here materializing in Atlantic City tonight.
And for Silas, it comes at a point when he is in a downward swing in his career. Lost Ismail Neko by KO in 1, then he had a draw with Andre Harrell, and then lost over 6 the decision to Kevin Watts, and that was in October. Good left by Silas.
Barkley in that fight with Eddie Hall that I mentioned previously did lose that in 8 rounds here at Atlantic City, November the 1st. That was his last outing, so he too is on the downside.
Barkley feels very much that he won that fight. It was an extraordinarily close fight, and I think some of the observers at ringside felt that while it was very close, a lot of them seemed to favor Barkley.
Iran Barkley in the red. Osley Silas in the blue. Again, they're actually their 3rd fight because they had fought earlier in the amateur ranks as well.
And Barkley, a very fine amateur, won the Empire Games in New York and had a real good amateur record. Was on the same New York team as Mark Breland that fought in the Golden Gloves against the Chicago team in their annual competition. I saw him perform there.
By the way, if you want an update, in the amateurs, Barkley did defeat Silas, so now it's almost 1-1 with the amateur win by Barkley. Good left hand by Barkley sends Silas down here near the end of round 1. Silas is up as referee Randy Newman counts him at 4 with a big left hand by Barkley, and there's the bell to end round 1. Barkley with a big left hand sends Silas down to the end of the round. Keep in mind here in New Jersey, a fighter cannot be saved by the bell of the final round.
Keep your hand up, all right? Keep that right hand up and work that jab more. All right? Keep working that jab. You can beat this guy on the jab. Don't get into a punching match with him. Keep that right hand up, work that jab, and shuffle to his left. Shuffle away from that punch, all right? Okay? Come on. Don't get in there low level.
Well, I mentioned that Iran Barkley has a good left hook, and he gives us a graphic example of it here, right on the chin of Silas. Sends him down, and we'll see it from yet another angle, and you'll see Barkley from way down under with that left hook, and that one right on the chin of Silas. And he will fire that punch. It leaves him open, Sam, sometimes for counter shots, but it works well when it lands like that.
Barkley said he felt very good about that left hook, but again, that was one of the things he said, hey, I had to go to the gym. Even though they keep pounding into my mind, I haven't quite come up with it. Silas exploited that, the poor defense of Barkley, but it's certainly Barkley with a big shot of Silas as we open the bell to start round 2. Scheduled for 8. As we're underway here in Top Rank Boxing, the middleweight division from Atlantic City.
Barkley's so conscious. I mean, every time people talk to him, that's what they ask him about. Your defense, your defense. He said, I know I don't have the best defense in the world. He said, but I'm working on it. And he said, you know, some fighters like Joe Frazier have gotten to world titles without having the greatest defense. So I guess he feels that a good offense will help him negate the defensive problems. Didn't a football coach once say that, the best defense is a good offense?
I think so.
Or was it the other way around? It was Paul McGuire when we need him.
Barkley trying to tee off. He got another good left hook in on Silas. He's backing up in right above us.
Now here's where Barkley gets in trouble sometimes when he gets a fighter hurt like this and he tries to load up with punches. That's when sometimes he's been hit with counter shots.
Silas clearly down once in the first round. He was stunned again here in round number 2 with that left hook. And you can plainly tell that Barkley is definitely loading that howitzer up for another shot or two before this bout is over.
Now, one of the punches Iran is ignoring right now is his jab, and he has a fairly good jab. And there he's using it to try and set things up, and it does set up the left hook. So forget about what I just said.
Silas with only 10 professional fights. Amateur record 42-7. Golden Gloves title in 82. Also the ABF title in 82. Was ranked number 3, as high as number 3 that year. And that was also the same year in 82 that he lost in Barkley in the amateurs. As Barkley comes in with a looping right hand, Silas ducked away from it, but I still think it caught him pretty flush.
I think it did. And you can see that Barkley punches with more power with that left hook than the right. One of the reasons Silas gives Barkley trouble is he's one of the taller middleweights that Barkley is going to see. Barkley, at over 6 foot, usually doesn't see a fighter that's taller than him, and Silas is bigger.
Barkley is just an inch over 6 feet.
Good example is Keith Adams, who's be fighting in our middleweight tournament. He's 5'9½".
You see Barkley stalking Silas. He's already been down once, referring to Silas in round 1. Silas with a good hand combination to back Barkley up here. You see the closing seconds of round 2.
Just have a feeling about tonight. I think this is going to be action-packed all the way through.
Well, they close in on the end of round 2. More after this.
Barkley did land this good straight right hand in the last round. The left hook's his big weapon, but when you land a right like that, off the chin, it's got to hurt.
Well, after an exciting rounds 1 and 2, we're right back at it in round number 3. Iran Barkley in the red, Osley Silas in the blue. They have split. Barkley winning an amateur fight, Osley winning the only time they fought as pros back in '83. It's almost the rubber match here tonight. Silas trying to counter as Barkley backs him into the corner.
You know, fighters improve sometimes in inches. And, you know, Iran Barkley missed with a left hook to the head of Silas, immediately came with the left to the body, and then followed with the right to the head. And so he learned from missing that left over the head.
Mouthpiece of Silas is out and on the canvas now. Referee Randy Newman trying to get close enough to toss it out.
I got it. Go.
For some reason, breaking the fighters at that point did not look like they were clinched that much. There's that straight left hand as Silas ducked into that one from Barkley.
And he is using his jab much better in the last 2 rounds. He had a while there where he didn't use it. Now he is throwing combinations, using jab and good body work.
Silas again fighting this round after losing that mouthpiece. As we pointed out, Randy Newman has picked it up and tossed it into his pocket. Now tossed it out of the ring as Silas fights on here in round number 3. Scheduled for 8th round in the middleweight division. Just underway here in Atlantic City, and you're seeing some fireworks early here.
No one has ever accused Iran Barkley of not being a good offensive fighter. He's got lots of punches. Good right counter by Silas, but doesn't move Barkley. Iran can go to the body and the head.
It certainly affected the crowd with some oohs and ahs, as there's the left hook by Barkley getting in on Silas again. Silas starting to exploit a couple of uppercuts. He's thrown 2 here now, just in the last few punches. Barkley said, I kind of like that punch. He comes with one of his own. Silas trying to set down on a few punches here midway through the 3rd. Barkley missing with that wild left hook that he would like to connect more of. Pretty good left hook that time by Silas, and there's that uppercut again. Got the first one in, second one slipped by.
Silas wants to counterpunch Barkley as he tries to throw those wide looping punches. Not always effective.
Morris timepiece counting us down to the end of round number 3. Official timekeeper of ESPN Sports. Silas and Barkley, the middleweights, have not stopped here as we're fighting into the 3rd. Barkley's already put Silas down once. He'd like to try to finish it off, and we'll look for more in a moment.
Barkley missed with this right hand, took a counter right from Silas. That's something Silas really wants to do in this fight and hasn't had enough of those.
Round number 4 of the middleweights. Barkley in the red, Silas in the blue. As Silas is up off the seat of his pants in round number 1 fighting here, but Barkley again still trying to load up that big left hand. Al, you've been scoring through 3. Pretty close fight?
Well, actually not. I've got Barkley winning it 3 rounds to none. But it is close in the sense that I don't think he's won all those rounds in a real big fashion. So Silas is getting his shots in, but I think Barkley's doing more valuable work.
Which is another way to say it. But the judges, of course, 3 of them ruling here at ringside, could certainly have one of those rounds going the other way, and it could be much tighter. But again, on Al's card, it's 3-0. Silas again certainly losing the first round when he does go down, even though he did get some good punches in. Barkley, oh, that was toe-to-toe.
You know, it's interesting. Honestly, Silas, we mentioned he's had 2 losses and a draw in his last 2 fights. He's not fighting badly here. Because against Barkley with that pressure, it's tough to really get off. And Silas is a little less sharp than when we saw him last time against Barkley, but I don't think he's fighting that badly. I think Barkley's fighting much better.
Big word coming out of Barkley's corner in between the round was shorten up your punches. You're starting to get a little bit wild with them. Shorten up, be a little more crisp, and I think we've seen him stay within that premise here in round number 4.
Very astute corner work there, because that is something he tends to do a little bit too much. Get his punches wide and looping, especially as the fight goes on.
Well, as you watch these 2 middleweights battle on ESPN, let me tell you, we've got a couple of heavyweights coming away in college basketball. On Wednesday, February the 27th, number 1, St. John's goes against Georgetown, number 2. The rematch after St. John's knocked off the Hoyas earlier. It'll be right here on ESPN. 9 o'clock will be the start time in the East. Georgetown, St. John's from Madison Square Garden. Exclusively on ESPN. Oh, an uppercut by Silas as Barkley walked right on through it. Barkley becoming very businesslike here in round number 4. Al, he's doing exactly, I think, what he's got to do after having those first 2 rounds, certainly in round 3 as well.
Now there off the ropes is Silas counterpunching well. You get a great view of it from this camera angle, and he is starting to pick Barkley apart a little bit as he comes in. He needs to do more of that.
I'll step back a little.
Well, a glove has split. I believe a glove has split on Barkley's right hand. Oh, no. Seemed like this deja vu of another couple of fights that you've done now when a glove or 2 split. But the right glove on the right hand is split on Barkley. They'll stop the time. As you see, of course, it was winding down near the end of round number 4, but now they'll have to change a glove here.
Well, every time this does happen, it is reminiscent of one of the more bizarre events we ever had on Top Rank Boxing in Lake Charles, Louisiana. I think it was in March of 1982. In fact, I remember the date. It was March 10th in 1982. I'm amazed at remembering that, in which Donald Curry was fighting Mike Senegal 3 times in that fight. His glove ripped, and they had to exchange gloves, making some people wonder if there wasn't some hanky-panky in the corner. We'll never know if that was true or not true. But nevertheless, they finally got the glove situation repaired, and Curry went on to win a 10th round TKO.
From the recesses of the pugilistic library, Al Bernstein grabs that one up. I'm sure that'll be included in your book somewhere.
It probably will be, as a matter of fact. And there you could see just a moment ago the padding seeping out of that glove. That apparently he must have, well, I don't know where it would have hit, maybe on the mouthpiece or something of Osley Silas.
Al, while we've got a momentary break, we made mention of Georgetown and St. John's. That's just part of a doubleheader on that Wednesday, February the 27th, of college basketball, because a big ACC showdown. North Carolina and Georgia Tech will follow that. So if you want the best in basketball, we have got it here on ESPN Wednesday, February 27th. And there it is. Well, that is, I don't, what do you hit it on, the ring post?
I don't know. You know, maybe there's a tooth or something coming through the mouthpiece of Osley Silas.
Well, there won't be too much time left to go in this round. If memory serves me right, we were winding down near the end of round 4. There it was. And there it was, as they had to fight only about 10 or 15 more seconds as the gloves split out by Barkley. He had a brand new one put on, and now, of course, they'll have to go into the corner at the end of round 4. And
You're coming up looking, and you're throwing 2 punches, and you're trying to rough this guy off. You're trying to push this guy around. Let him do all the pushing, Iran. Just step around this guy. When you step around this guy, hook, just relax. Step around the guy. Turn your hooks off and shit. Turn some stuff into the body. Keep your jab working. Elevate that jab a little bit, man, because you're getting caught with them right hands over the top. And when you got to go over here, you got to get this hand back over here, man.
In round 4, this may be where the glove split. An uppercut there, glancing off, perhaps. Yeah, there it is. That is the spot. You know, that is exactly the way I think a couple of times the glove broke when Curry was fighting Senegal, because he throws a lot of uppercuts. It's exactly what happens when those uppercuts land.
Great replays by our crew again tonight. Nice to have our ace producer, Jed Drake, back with us here. He had a nice suntan get away from the GOP tour there for a while.
Down there doing golf. He missed the boxing, I know it.
Iran Barkley along with Osley Silas come out. This is round 5, scheduled for 8. Barkley right back to work where he left off against Silas.
There's the counter-punching off the rope, Sam. That is what Silas wants to do, and Barkley, to some extent, is playing into his hands. He's coming in kind of low, not looking up, and he's getting tagged with some counter shots.
Now, Al, a hypothetical question, if I may. How much of that do the judges score? How do you feel on those counters?
That's always a question. You know, Barkley remains the aggressor. Now, I gave Silas the last round because of that counter-punching off the ropes, but it depends really on what the judges like, I guess. But a lot of the punches Barkley's throwing now are landing in the arms of Silas.
Are hitting thin air, as that one did. Silas, oh, that's a good straight left hand. And there goes the mouthpiece out once again. As Barkley teeing off on the corner against Silas. Silas working without that mouthpiece. He's going to have to get a new one before his career goes too much further, one that fits well.
And there's blood coming from the mouth of Silas. It's a tough round to judge. Silas landing some real sharp shots, like a couple of there, but Barkley is probably throwing more punches. You know, this fight has turned. Since Silas has been making it off the ropes, he's done better, interestingly enough.
Well, Silas has called himself a boxer-puncher. He's been a counter-puncher tonight. As here come the polka dot shirts again as they fight above us here.
They always find us when somebody's bleeding. Good body work by Barkley. And part of your question really revolves around how much of the judges giving Barkley credit for that body work, too. That's another element.
Well, we'd like to remind you that coming up next, we've got the machine gun, Mike Mungeon against Joey Farrell. Farrell, a tough kid from Philadelphia. He won't have to look for Minton. They'll be right in their face. That's coming up next on Top Rank.
Boy, you know, this is a good fight. This is a good fight. Both fighters doing what they want to do, doing it effectively, and it's turning into a closer fight. And you have to respect what these two young middleweights are doing.
You see the time winding down. This is round 5, scheduled for 8 in the middleweight division. There's a slip. Randy Newman wiping off the gloves. Round 5 coming to an end. We've still got 3 to go.
What Silas has done in the last couple of rounds that I think might have turned this fight a little. Good shots of him countering off those ropes, and he hit Iran Barkley with 2 or 3 good ones there.
Couple of middleweights as they try to reach their peak here. 26-year-old Silas in the blue, Iran Barkley at 24, Silas at 26, and to keep in mind that that's right at the verge of kind of reaching for a pinnacle in the middleweight division, and both of them have to get their careers back on track here. Barkley 9-3, Silas only 4-3-3 if they hope to make any marks in the division.
I have this fight tightening up just a bit. I've got a 3-1-1. I gave the last round, mid-last round even. The round before it went to Silas, so I've got things a little bit closer at this point.
So after a 3-0 shutout by Barkley early, Silas indeed is coming back here in round 6.
You know, Barkley was so disappointed with that loss to Eddie Hall decision. He said, from now on, I want to be the judge and jury and just take things in my own hand. Well, he's tried tonight, and he had Silas down. An important point to be made, too, with the supplemental 5-point system, with that knockdown in the first round, if this fight were to be a draw, chances are Barkley would get it unless he is knocked down sometime in these last 3 rounds.
This fight has been fought pretty much in the posture you're looking at it right now, with Silas near or leaning against the ropes, trying to counter on what Barkley delivers. And again, with Barkley's history of not having that good a defense, Silas has had relatively good success, particularly, as Al pointed out, in the last 2 rounds. After some early fireworks, they tire just a bit here in round number 6 as they're a little more cautious. Big left hand by Silas as Barkley walked right into that one.
And he threw that from the southpaw stance. Interesting to see if he goes back to that. Good uppercut by Barkley.
Barkley indeed with a good one. He comes back with that left hook. He knows what his best weapon is, and he's throwing it. Silas countering. There was the left hook, and they're going to call it the knockdown as Randy Newman did spot it. Again, Silas was leaning back. The left hook indeed was there, but probably not that strong to knock him totally down. A little off balance, and Silas comes out in a hurry. Oh, that right hand got in on Silas, and now he is in trouble. Silas fighting back, and now on left hand, that's the hook, and this one's over. And Randy Newman summons the doctors in as he's going to keep Silas on the canvas. A right hand followed by the big knockout punch, and that, of course, was the left hook by Iran Barkley, who you see picks up his 7th knockout and his 10th victory of his pro career with a knockout here in the 6th. Oh, my.
And as we look at Silas, we can view him ourselves from ringside and look into his eyes, whereas the camera can't. He looks like he's all right. He's pretty clear-eyed, and he'll be getting up in a moment or two. So he looks like he's going to be all right. Well, Iran Barkley was the judge and the jury tonight. Was having trouble getting that left hook in, primarily because he was fighting right off the chest of Silas for 2 or 3 rounds. Then when he did get more punching room in the middle of the ring, he was able to land the left hook and hurt Silas.
Dr. Frank B. Doggett looking at him, asking him questions here. Let's recap that knockdown here, Al.
Well, as this is the first knockdown, and you'll see him knock a left hook off the top of his head, landed in a funny spot. Might have landed on the temple, which is part of the reason why he went down. And then at the end of the fight, Barkley with the right hand, and that really hurt Silas. At this point, Silas was still in trouble. And Barkley, who was a pretty good finisher, went right after him.
And there it was. That was the one that officially turned out the lights on the left hook after, again, the right pretty much set it up as Iran Barkley will get the knockout here in the 6th round. And what a devastating blow. There was no question in Randy Newman's mind that that one was over when Silas went down. Let's get the official time of the knockdown and the knockout officially here in the 6th with Michael Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, the official time, 2 minutes, 25 seconds of the 6th round. Referee Randy Newman stops the bout. The winner by technical knockout, Iran the Blade Barkley.
So the winner by technical knockout in the 6th, Iran Barkley. Our Top Rank Boxing will continue, but right now let's pause for this message.
Off a couple of years after a couple of losses and is now on the comeback trail. Let's get the official introductions from Marvin Goldberg in the ring.
This bout, 8 rounds. The referee is now Nick Drake. In the blue corner, from the Bronx, New York, wearing golden black trunks, weighing 160, Iron the Blade Barkley. And in the red corner, from Ridgewood, Brooklyn, wearing blue and gold trunks, weighing 156 and a half, Norberto the Savage Sabater.
Norberto Sabater, last time he fought here at the Felt Forum was March 25th when he beat Billy Showtime Lee. An 8-round decision, came in with a big jungle hat. Tonight he came in with sunglasses.
A pith helmet with a propeller on it.
Barkley is a tough fighter. Barkley is 9-3 with 7 knockouts. In his losses, he was stopped by Robbie Sims, the half-brother of Marvelous Marvin Hagler, early in 1984, and then lost a close decision to Eddie Hall, also lost to Osley Silas, but avenged that loss. Sabater comes in with a record of 22-5.
With 8 knockouts. I tell you, they're 2 very well-dressed boxers, aren't they?
Yes. Sabater in the blue, Barkley in the gold.
Sabater was not in the kind of shape that he should have been in his last bout. And if he's trained since that bout, what was it, March the 25th?
Right.
I hope he did, because he's in there against a guy who could really hit.
Sabater said he wasn't totally satisfied with that fight, but he recognizes that for having laid off 2 years and being able to win, that was in itself satisfying, but he wasn't totally satisfied with his performance, feels he can do better, and feels he will do better tonight.
Our referee in there now is Nick Drake.
Caution Barkley for hitting on the brakes. Talked to Bobby Miles, Barkley's trainer, before the fight, and he says he's trying to get Barkley to slug it out less and set up his big punches more.
Smart advice.
Barkley drops in a good right hand. And good work to the body. Barkley opening up hard on Sabater.
Sabater is making the biggest mistake of his life. He's backing up in a straight line. He should, when he moves back, he should go to either side, but he's backing up straight, and he's a target. And Barkley's in position to hit him every time.
Well, over a minute to go in the first round.
Sabater better start boxing. He doesn't have the power. He's not as strong as Barkley, so he better start using up the ring and moving.
Barkley has been landing some good shots to the body. Mixes his attack up well. There he goes. Couple left hooks to the body. And he's got a good right hand. You've got to watch for a little low with the left and comes up with a left hook.
See what I mean about Sabater? He's backing up in a straight line. Barkley is in position to hit him every time. If you move from side to side, he has to reset himself.
27-year-old Norberto Sabater on the comeback trail after laying off a year and a half. Barkley getting in that left hook late in round 1. Good start to the fight by Iran Barkley.
As I said, I hope he's in shape. I'm talking about Sabater.
Little late left hook by Sabater with a good first round. There is Norberto Sabater. As we mentioned about him, he's got off to a great start in his pro career. Turned pro in 1979 and won 9 straight in 1979. Followed that up with 8 straight wins in 1980. and then 2 wins in '81 before he lost to Frank the Animal Fletcher. Then he lost to Alex Ramos. No disgrace there. 2 real good fighters. Was stopped by Benny Briscoe in 1982, and then stopped by David Braxton and James Schuler, 2 fine fighters, in 1983. And after that, stayed out for a year and a half. Iran Barkley turned pro the end of 1982. And as I mentioned, his only losses, one to Osley Silas, which he avenged in his last fight, February 21st, was stopped by Robbie Sims in a real classic brawl, January of 1984, where each man had the other hurt, and Sims survived. And then Barkley also lost a close 8-round decision November 1st, 1984 to Eddie Hall in Atlantic City.
Tell you, Norberto Sabater is fighting exactly the kind of fight that Iran Barkley wants him to fight. He's standing in there and slugging with him. I think the bigger puncher of the two is Barkley with 7 knockouts in 13 fights. He's an accomplished fighter. He's a well-conditioned fighter. Sabater should, if he has the boxing ability, should try to box more than slug. Look for the opportunity. Look to open him up.
It looked like a slip, but they're counting on a knockdown. Maybe in the right hand to the side of the head. We were shielded. There is the mandatory 8 count.
Apparently it was a punch, all right, because Sabater did not complain. I didn't see the punch, Sam.
Double up left hand by Barkley. Again, the left hand gets in by Barkley.
Barkley's going to work on him to the body and to the head now. Barkley's got him a little sick.
Sabater's got to get out of there. He can't keep taking punches like this. Barkley is a good, strong puncher.
Sabater is hurt, Sam. He's hurt. He's hanging on. He's not responding too well. He's hurt. He's trying to recover from it.
Good left. Rock Sabater back to the ropes. His right leg is wobbly.
Yeah, his legs, both of his legs are pretty well gone.
Nick Drake looking closely. He may stop this fight very shortly. Sabater in a lot of trouble, not punching back. He has no legs at all.
He's trying to come back. He's trying to punch.
Only the ropes holding him up. Good uppercut lands. Down goes Sabater.
He's down. Actually, he almost went down on his own then. He caught a light left hook as he was going down. And the way he feels right now, I don't think he'd like to sit there all night.
It's 8.
9.
Took a long rest. Took his time getting up.
Told the referee he's okay, but he's not really. Look at his legs.
45 seconds to go in the round. Look at Barkley going for it. And that's it.
All over.
Nick Drake has stopped the fight with 40 seconds to go in the round.
Actually, Sam, the Dr. Frank Polk, I believe, stopped the fight. He's on the apron of the ring over to our left in the light tan suit. Now he's up on the ring, and I'm sure he's the one who stopped the fight. He signaled to the referee, Nick Drake, to stop the fight.
A good move. Sabater was taking a tremendous amount of punishment, and as I mentioned, Barkley is just too hard of a hitter. Too hard of a hitter to mix with, and he just took too many punches.
Sam, there's some sort of an argument going on down here about that round being 3.5 minutes long.
Well, we have the stopwatch here at ringside, John. It was fine.
Well, we're going to take another look at it. We'll see the first knockdown now. Barkley with his back to us.
Good left hook to the body by Barkley on the right, and there's that left.
He just did a job on him underneath and on the top.
See, that right must have glanced off the chin. It looked like it almost missed, but it got the chin. Now here's the finishing touches. There's that uppercut.
You can see that he has nothing left at all. The legs, it was just a tap that last. He was just exhausted, and the legs couldn't carry him anymore. That last punch that he took was more or less a tap.
Iran Barkley, good performance, solid hitter. Marvin Goldberg has the official time in the ring.
The time, 2 minutes and 25 seconds of the second round. Winner by a TKO, Iran the Blade Barkley.
Iran Barkley. his second fight in 1985, and another knockout for him. He knocked out Silas to avenge an earlier loss in his career to him. And now he stops Norberto Sabater. And of course now the question for Sabater is whether to decide this could be the end of his career. As his second fight back after a year-and-a-half layoff, he stopped in the second round, but a big win for Iran Barkley. Professional boxing coming to you from Madison Square Garden's Belt Forum.
Time, it looked like I had a good time.
Oh, I had a good time, but also I was mainly just thinking about what I was working with in the gym, my jab, my body work. I knew it would just be a matter of time, you know. I knew after I jabbed him and I seen his head snap back, I knew I'd have him.
How come we haven't seen more of you?
Well, I haven't been seeing more because I haven't been getting busy.
You mean you've been out of the gym?
No, I've been in the gym, but they just didn't give me the fight.
I see. And this guy here I know is after fights for you all the time. Connie Bryant, the trainer and manager, Connie Bryant. You've got to fight a lot. You're a good fighter. You've got you seem to have everything you need to really go far in this sport.
Oh, yeah, well, I got everything I need, and I be working hard with my trainer, Connie, and Bobby Miles, and Murph, and Michael Griffin, and all of us. We stick together as one team. You know, we work hard. I stay in the gym, and I'm looking for more fights and to move up, because I think I could be in the best, and I could put myself on the top middleweight contender.
Okay. One question of Connie. Connie, when do you want to fight again?
As soon as possible.
Next week?
Yes.
Okay.
25-year-old Iran Barkley from the Bronx, building a reputation as one of the hardest hitters around. In 3 years as a pro, Barkley has put together an 11-3 record with 8 knockouts. 2 of those knockouts coming this year. Last month, right here at the Felt Forum, he stopped Norberto Sabater in the second round as he unleashed an unstoppable right-left combination that wore down Sabater and sent him to the canvas. And I talked about the improvement in Iran Barkley.
Iran, you come off a very impressive win over Norberto Sabater last month. You seem to be gaining in confidence and ability.
Yeah, well, I'm working, like I said, real hard, and everything's now starting to pay off just the way I wanted to, you know, working on lots of things. And with Sabater, it did, you know, it showed me just what I wanted to see, even though it was short, you know. I mean, it showed me that I'm ready for whatever comes. And I've been working real hard defensively, boxing. I'm a much smarter fighter. I think I tend to think now and just don't waste a lot of stuff. Everything I do tonight will count.
And everything he does tonight will go against Randy Smith, 28 years old, a middleweight from Chicago. Randy Smith is 15-3 with 12 knockouts. A hard hitter who fought most of his fights in the Chicago area. Came to New York June 29th, 1984 to take on previously undefeated Arthur Anthony Holt. Randy Smith landed a big right hand and knocked out Holt in the third round. And I talked about the battle with Barkley tonight.
Randy, you're a hard hitter. Iran Barkley is a hard hitter. Do you look for a slugfest and a short fight in tonight's scheduled 10-rounder?
I look for a short fight between 1 and 5. I look for meat boxing and then slugging, but not all the way a slugfest. But I look for a short fight.
How important is this fight for you?
It's very important. I'm losing 4 fights. Cheated out of 2. Lost the last one, 3.5 pounds overweight, you know, I guess a day before the fight. Then went off with food or something, you know. And I was a little weak for it. And 15-4 is not a real good record. It's not for me anyway, you know, so I don't want to lose no more.
Iran Barkley and Randy Smith. It should be a good battle. 2 hard hitters in the ring, set for the introductions. Let's go to Marvin Goldberg.
This bout, 10 rounds. Referee now is Paul Venti. In the blue corner, from Chicago, Illinois, wearing green and white trunks, weighing 161, with a record of 15-3, 12 by KO, Randy Smith. And in the red corner, from the Bronx, New York, wearing white and blue trunks, weighing 161, with a record of 11 3/8 by knockout, Barkley. 10 rounds.
There's Paul Venti, the referee. Boy, fine referees tonight. Larry Hazard, Paul Venti, Al Bianco. Instructions for the fighters for the scheduled 10-rounder. If there's been one problem with Barkley, it's been his defense. He always leaves himself open, tends to get caught up in these slugfests. He's a hard hitter.
Yeah, he sure is. I like the way he fights. I like his style. He's always on balance. He's always ready to throw a punch. I think we should clear up one thing. Randy Smith said he lost 4 fights. On our screen, we showed 3. I don't know which is right.
It's 4, Johnny. Had a fight in Atlantic City a couple of months ago that is not shown then on the sheet that came through.
Okay, then he's 15 and 4
That's
with
correct.
12 knockouts. So Randy Smith, 12 knockouts out of 18 fights or 19 fights. He's a puncher, and Iran Barkley with 8 knockouts in 14 fights. Couple of sluggers. Paul Venti, our referee.
There's Barkley starting quick. And Smith looking bouncier than he did in that fight against Holt when he did stop him. Smith came back in September of last year to fight Horacio Perez and lost an 8-round decision.
5 of Barkley's 8 career knockouts have been scored in the first 2 rounds, Sam, so we have to watch for that. He's a fast starter. And as I mentioned, look at the way he holds his body. He's always in position to throw a punch. His balance is great. Moves well, even from inside. He doesn't stay in there and wait for Randy Smith to punch him. He moves to the side. He doesn't take any punches unless he can avoid them. Can't avoid them, I'm sorry.
Barkley looks in real good shape. Smith, as he mentioned in that last loss, in that Atlantic City loss, he was a little overweight. Had to drop down a few pounds the day of the fight. And wound up losing it.
Fast hands, Randy Smith. Both hands are fast, left and right.
There's that right hand that got in.
Barkley's got a pretty good jab, as I recall. And he's used it rather sparingly up to now, but he pumps it. He doesn't throw it just once.
In his 3 losses, Barkley has only been stopped once. That was by Robbie Sims in a tremendous battle in Atlantic City back in January of 1984. Where he had Sims in serious trouble. Sims came back and stopped him in the 6th round. Barkley says now he's better, he's been improving, has been working on his defense. Smith showing a little hot dog. Barkley's
really going to work.
Barkley's got his game face on. Smith covering up pretty well, got in a good quick right hand.
He did. Good shot.
That quick right that knocked out Holt in the 3rd round. Barkley pumping the jab pretty well with half a minute to go in the 1st round.
Had a great jab, Barkley. Barkley in the white trunks.
Good quick start to this fight. You can hear the crowd into it right away. 2 good hitters, and Barkley got that left hook in. Final seconds, round 1 scheduled for 10. You're watching professional boxing from Madison Square Garden's Felt Forum. So that's Iran Barkley coming out to meet Randy Smith. These are middleweights.
Iran Barkley calls himself the Blade. I don't know what really what that means. The Blade. B-L-A-D-E.
He's pumping that jab pretty well.
He's got a beautiful left hand, Iran Barkley in the white trunks. And he knows how to use it. He loves to throw that punch, and it's the best thing he has ever learned in his life, in his profession.
Smith has never been stopped in his 4 losses. Lost in his 4th professional fight, a 6-round decision. Then he went to London, fought very highly rated Mark Taylor, and lost a 10-round decision out there. And then lost that 8th rounder to Perez here at the Felt Forum last September.
Randy Smith is not that difficult to hit. He's a pretty straight-up fighter, and he doesn't move too much, so he's right there. Barkley can take a little gamble with him like he's doing right now.
Right.
Just stay right in there.
Look at Smith.
What a beautiful combination thrown by Smith.
Barkley took it well, but this has been Barkley's failing in the past. He leaves himself open in going for it and throwing those punches as he does. He leaves himself open, and Smith has countered well here in the second round.
Well, I said he could gamble. He did gamble, but it didn't pay off. But Smith has got very fast hands.
Thus far, both fighters showing they can take a pretty good punch. Barkley has thrown a lot. There's that good jab.
See what I mean about Randy Smith? He's right there when Barkley throws a punch.
It's good right hand.
Very little movement on the part of Randy Smith.
They battle toe-to-toe. Barkley goes after Smith after Smith had landed well. Less than a minute to go in round 2.
I don't know how long it's going to last, but it's going to be a beauty as long as it goes. These two guys really want each other. Randy's right there, and Barkley's teeing off on him. Randy does not come back with any kind of an offense.
Smith has blocked a couple of those punches with the gloves, but a couple of them got through as well. Barkley just taking the action to Smith. Smith has landed some good punches in this round. Smith countering back with that left hook. Barkley just keeps throwing. A lot of punches landing on the arms. 15 seconds to go in the second round. Right hand scored for Smith. Got tagged with a right. Smith comes back. Tough round to score. A lot of action in this second and a lot more to come.
In the last round, you see a good combination by Smith. Left-right combination.
Barkley didn't back up, came right back at him.
He just and came on.
Back to the live action. Iran Barkley in the white trunks, Randy Smith in the green. Barkley stayed very busy, throwing a lot of punches. Most of those punches taken on the hands and the gloves by Randy Smith.
Randy keeps his gloves up real high alongside of his head. When he backs up, though, he backs up. He leans as he backs up, and his gloves open up, so he's a target when he does back up. They're just trading punches. They're willing to gamble. Both of them are willing to gamble with each other.
Smith is a strong guy looking to counter. Got the right hand in, but Barkley keeps coming.
It's a puncher's fight all the way. Actually, Barkley is the better boxer of the two, but he likes to throw leather.
Yes, he does. Smith getting that right hand in on the inside. Barkley trying to find the opening, working all angles. Side, trying to come up with the uppercut.
A lot of heads in there, Sam. Could be some damage there. They're clunking heads.
Chopping right hand again by Randy Smith. That's his best punch, that right hand.
Since the beginning, it's been Iran Barkley doing the leading. He's been forcing the fight.
Smith takes to the attack. He backed up Barkley for the first time. He has landed well. Barkley a little wobbly, but he keeps coming in.
Smith is really not wasting any energy. He's trying to save it if he can. He gets his punches across. He makes them count when he does throw them. He doesn't throw any punches to the winds.
If anything, I guess Iran Barkley has to be concerned about wearing down, maybe getting a little arm weary later on in this fight. He's thrown a lot of punches, but Randy Smith has taken them and has countered well.
And we have two good fighters here who can punch, two good punchers. One of them has to get lucky if it's going to be a knockout.
They are going back and forth. Barkley answering with his left after Smith had landed a few good right hands. Half a minute to go in round 3. Smith starts bouncing around up on his toes. Real good action in this fight. Smith is taking some good shots and he backs off now. Closing seconds of the third round. This is professional boxing from the Felt Forum in Madison Square Garden. 4 middleweights. Randy Smith in the green trunks from Chicago. Iran Barkley in the white trunks from the Bronx, New York. Good tough battle thus far. Neither man giving much. Smith taking the lead for one of the few times in the fight he's been content to counter Barkley.
I think that's what he likes to do, Sam. He likes to counterpunch.
Well, getting a good right hand. That right hand is very dangerous by Smith. It's got a lot of power. He's got that short, compact body.
Both fighters with very fast hands. Barkley's given up on his jab a little bit. He should use it more. He should use it as much as he did in the early part of the fight, at least.
And Smith has started to use his
He's
jab.
coming back with it. He's got to double up with it. He's got to keep pumping that jab. Take a lot of things out of the minds of Randy Smith. He's right there. He's within punching room. Throw it. That's it.
Smith dropping his hands, showing a look of disdain toward Iran Barkley, but Barkley opens up, got caught with that right hand again.
Got caught with a pretty good right hand.
Again, if Iran Barkley has had a weakness, it's been his defense. He's a good hitter. He's a game fighter. He's always in good shape, but he leaves himself open to be hit a lot.
Well, he commits the sin of a lot of punchers, Sam. They think they can knock anybody out that's in front of them, and they don't care that much about defense. They just want to blast the guy away that's standing in front of them.
There's the right hand by Smith again. The swelling under the left eye of Iran Barkley as he answers with a couple of good shots. The uppercut's working for Barkley. Smith comes back with his right.
Smith takes what Barkley has to offer and comes back very strong.
Shots taken on the arms by Smith. He's covering up well. Less than a minute to go. Round 4 scheduled for 10. Hard to conceive of this going 10 rounds the way these guys are hitting.
That's right. A terrific pace right from the start.
Good right got in by Smith one more time. And a good combination by Randy Smith. Barkley taking some good punches.
Barkley's punches are coming a little bit slower now.
Late in round 4. I like the way Smith is covered up and taking a lot of those punches on the arms. Barkley trying to go to the body, finding the opening.
In the meantime, Barkley's building up a lot of points.
Heading to the bell, ending round 4. Professional boxing coming to you from Madison Square Gardens Belt Forum.
The New Jersey Generals and the Heisman, Flutie and Walker, take on the Memphis Showboats on Saturday, June 1st at 7 p.m. The colorful Pepper Rogers will lead his Showboats into Giant Stadium in a must-win game for both teams. And it's European Costume Contest night. 2 couples will win free airfare to England, France, Germany, or Italy, courtesy of Pan Am. That's the Generals versus the Showboats, Saturday, June 1st at 7. Tickets available at the Meadowlands Box Office Arena or call 935-3900.
If the great outdoors is your game, Meltzer is the name and has been since 1914. Meltzer's is known for quality and low price on guns, tackle, boots, and warm clothing for the outdoorsman. When it comes to salt or freshwater fishing, Meltzer has it all at discount prices. When the cash register rings, Meltzer sings. And once you shop Meltzer, you'll go nowhere else. And you heard it from Izzy Meltzer.
Smith from Chicago coming in with a record of 15-4. Iran Barkley a record of 11-3. Good with both men with good knockout ratios. Barkley 8 knockouts in his 11 wins, and Smith 12 knockouts in his 15 wins.
This is the kind of fight I'd like to see go all the way, Sam. I enjoy a good fight, and this is a good fight. I'd like to see 10 rounds of this.
Good pace, good battle. Both men in real good shape.
This is what boxing is all about.
Back and forth they go. Good jab by Barkley. Tries to double up with that left hook. Smith has been at his best when he's been counter-punching. Those short punches on the inside, like that left-right, worked very effectively for him. That left hook on the glove.
On the glove, right.
has gotten those gloves up in a good defensive stance.
Got a strange style, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He stands there. He's as still as can be. He keeps those gloves up there like that. Picks off a lot of punches.
Good jab by Smith. Caught Barkley coming in. Smith landed a couple of good right hands earlier. Barkley just keeps coming and keeps throwing. Barkley looking for that opening. Smith covering up very, very well. Good uppercut by Smith.
He took 5 or 6 punches and he got 1 uppercut in.
45 seconds left in the 5th round. Smith is one tough customer in there. Takes some good shots. Barkley digging that left hook.
Smith is showing signs of getting tired. His mouth is open. He's gasping for air.
Barkley's
still very
left
strong.
hook drew the cheers from the crowd and kind of a nod of approval from Randy Smith. That could have been one that he felt.
Smith is taking a lot of shots now.
Less than 10 seconds to go. Round 5. You're watching professional boxing from Madison Square Garden's Felt Forum.
Oh, that was a beautiful one thrown by Iron Barkley.
Back to the live action. Round 6 scheduled for 10. That was that left hook in which Smith nodded to him, said, okay, you got me with that one.
I watched Randy Smith as he walked to his corner at the end of the last round, Sam. He's a tired fighter. He took a long time to get there, and he just plopped down on that seat. The sure mark of a tired fighter.
Smith motioning for Barkley to come in. He does just that. Smith leaping with that left jab. Well, a few times Paul Venti has had to step in between the two fighters.
This is a condition fight, Sam. The pace has been tough right from the start. They both had better be in real good condition to last, go all the way. My guess is right now that Barkley's in better shape than Randy Smith. He didn't appear to be as tired as Smith at the end of the last round. He's still moving well. He's still punching hard. And Randy Smith's punch is getting off a little late now. Randy Smith in green.
Smith seems to have a little problem holding the weight at the middleweight limit, John. He had problems in his last fight. He said he went in at 165 and was 3 pounds over and had to drop down the day of the fight.
Yeah.
And even today he said he came in a pound over.
Well, that indicates that he wasn't doing all that much training, or he wasn't worried about his weight, and found out that he just couldn't do it. I don't know, but when a fighter comes in overweight, he hasn't trained right. His trainer should watch him and make sure that he comes in ready for the fight. There's a lot of fighters cheat the night before the fight. They'll have a big meal, and that'll do it.
Tough defense has been hard for Barkley to penetrate. Smith has put up those arms and has covered up well.
All Barkley has to do right now to win this fight, Sam, is box. Throw the jab and move around the ring. Throw the jab as often as you can. Get the right hand across every once in a while. Box him and you beat him.
Half a minute to go in the 6th round. There have been no knockdowns, but a lot of action thus far. Quick left hook and a right by Smith, and Barkley comes right back with a right of his own.
Well, he has to go. Throw the jab and move. Use the ring. Move around the ring. Go from side to side. Jab and throw the right every once in a while.
Round 7 to Rand Barkley and Randy Smith. No knockdowns. Neither man has been hurt. It's been a tough battle. They haven't been more than a few inches apart throughout this fight, and they've been throwing a lot of punches.
What I meant before, this is the kind of fight you want to see it go all the way. I like to see good fighters fight, and I don't like to see knockouts. I like to see scientific fights, and these two guys are really put on a good fight tonight. It's an interesting fight all the way, and has been right from the very start.
Paul Venti cautioning Iran Barkley to get the punches up.
We have been joined at ringside by another notable, the commissioner or the chairman of the New York State Athletic Commission, the former light heavyweight champion of the world, Shewi Jose Torres.
Smith, a little mocking toward Barkley. Crucial time here in this fight as they reach the 7th round. Barkley seems to be opening up a bit of a lead on Smith. As John mentioned, stamina could be the key factor in this fight. Barkley looking in good shape, has moved a lot, has kept busy with his punches. Smith defensively has done well. And again, mocks Barkley a little bit. They slowing a little bit, but it was tough to maintain that real brisk pace they kept up through the first 5 rounds. 6th slowed a little bit. And now a little more here in the 7th. Barkley told us right at the top that he feels he's a smarter fighter, and perhaps he's showing that, John, by not going all out early for the knockout and spending himself.
Well, he's really making the fight. Barkley is making the fight. He's been making the fight right from the beginning. He's doing all the leading. He's throwing a lot more punches than Randy Smith has. Randy Smith is just laying back, waiting to get that big one over, and Barkley is doing all the work. Barkley is earning the decision in this fight up to this point on his work, on the number of punches that he has scored. He has scored a lot of good punches to the body and to the head, and that left hand of his alone is a real big point getter.
And it was things like this, Smith not throwing punches, that cost him the decision against Perez.
Exactly.
Final seconds of the 7th round. Barkley comes out for round 8. Randy Smith meets him in the center of the ring, and here they go at it one more time. Scheduled for 10 middleweights. 25-year-old Iran Barkley, 11-3. 1-2 straight thus far in 1985. Randy Smith told us right at the beginning, before the fight tonight, he can't afford to lose more in his career. He wants to go anywhere. He's coming in with a record of 15-4. Still to come, our main event tonight. Scheduled for 10, James Buddy McGirt, ranked in the top 20 among junior welterweights by the WBC, going against Alan Braswell. Good left hook by Smith. Braswell trying to bounce back after a rocky 1984 in which he lost all 5 of his fights. But he won a big one earlier this year by beating Frank Montgomery in Atlantic City. And he looks like he's in real good shape. Right here, Iran Barkley continues to move well. Smith doesn't seem to have the power in his punches, John, that he had earlier.
He slowed up a little bit. So has Barkley, but not all that much. Barkley's in excellent physical shape. Randy Smith having to make weight today indicates that he didn't train that hard for this fight.
Less than a minute to go in the 8th round. There's been no knockdowns. Barkley working the body well on Smith. Barkley, who has many times gotten caught in slugfests and has gone punch for punch with opponents, has been content to box the last several rounds and has looked good doing it.
He can't get too careless, though. I mean, he can't gamble too much with Randy Smith. Randy Smith, although he's tired, is still very strong. He knows how to throw a punch. If he lands it, he'll do it.
Time winding down the 8th round. This is professional boxing from the Felt Forum in Madison Square Garden. And Barkley in the white trunks appears to be building up a good lead on Randy Smith. Smith starting to use that right hand again. And that's his big punch. He's been throwing it a lot thus far in the 9th round.
As I said, Sam, he's tired, but he's still strong. He can still do the job if he gets the punch across. One big punch will slow Barkley down to a walk, and Randy Smith might be able to get to him.
The swelling under the left eye of Iran Barkley. Smith continues to chop with that right hand. Barkley has boxed very well the last 4 rounds. He has pumped the jab and stayed busy. Now Smith coming back. Just the most active Smith has been the last 3 rounds. Smith threw a good jab, but didn't follow with anything.
Smith's just standing there waiting for Barkley to hit him. Still trying to counterpunch him.
His hands have come down a little bit.
Barkley had gone to work on the body of Smith during this fight, or throughout this fight. He might have had Smith out of there by now, but he's been headhunting right from the start.
Clock has been stopped. A little loose tape on the right glove of Randy Smith. They'll get that corrected in the corner. Just a little past the midway point of this 9th round.
Oh boy. Randy did a little bit of a cakewalk there. Shows what kind of shape he's in right now. He's tired, all right.
And a good right hand uppercut.
Know the difference between these 2 fighters, Sam? Barkley wants the fight. Barkley has wanted the fight right from the start. He's the hungrier fighter of the 2.
Smith has been talking to Barkley the last few moments. Barkley still has his game face on and has been working hard. The right hand keeps getting in for Smith. Not with all that much power on it, though.
A little hot dogging by Randy Smith. Dropping the arms like that means he's tired.
This is not the time to hot dog for Smith. He's behind, and he's got to start to come on.
I've got him pretty far behind, Sam.
Time winding down on the 9th round. Less than 10 seconds to go. A little bit tired, too. Smith walking slowly back into the corner.
Smith just arrived.
Referee Paul Venti wants a tape checked out again on the glove of Randy Smith. Tape that came loose. Randy Smith, 28 years old, from Chicago. He will be 29 August 23rd. And this is his 2nd fight this year. Fought only 3 times last year. Twice here at the Felt Forum. The 3rd round knockout over Anthony Holt, which was a big win for him, and then lost a decision against Horacio Perez. And in that fight, again, a fight in which Perez kind of took it away from him. He did not stay busy enough. He wound up losing that fight. So now he has lost 2 in a row coming into this, 3 of his last 4. So Smith maybe getting to a critical stage of his professional career.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 10th and final round.
10th and final round. There have been no knockdowns, but it's been a real good matchup.
Randy's going to have to pull this out. He's going to have to knock out Barkley on my scorecard to win the fight. Whatever he's got left, he's got to pour it out now. I'm talking about Randy Smith in the green trunks.
He landed a good right hand. Barkley has been busier than Smith. Neither fighter has been hurt in this fight.
And again, what Barkley should be doing right now, just jabbing the way he's going right now. Use the ring. That's it. Perfect then. Just jab and move and box, and he's a winner.
He's improved as a boxer quite noticeably in the last year and a half. I saw him in that Sims fight, and he let himself, he lost that fight after having Sims hurt. But here he's just showing a lot more ring savvy and a lot more smarts.
Just perfect what he's doing now. That's all he has to do to win, to ensure the win.
1 minute gone by in the 10th round. Smith digging down a little bit. He wants Barkley to come to him. Barkley says, hey, I don't have to.
Barkley says, I'll see you tomorrow.
I'll show you my scorecard. Smith taunting Barkley. Barkley will have none of it.
Barkley's having a good time.
Past the midway point of the 10th and final round. And a very impressive performance by Rand Barkley. Good boxing performance by him.
Just doing a perfect job up there right now, doing exactly what he should be doing. Move, 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 jab, jab, jab. That's all he has to do.
Smith can't find him right now. Now he found him with a right hand. That was a good one.
Yeah, he dropped his hands, too. He caught him with that punch. That was a pretty good punch.
Less than a minute to go in the fight. Here comes Smith looking for the knockout.
Right, and Barkley's not moving that much as he's taking that right hand. That was a good shot right on the chopper.
Barkley's one of those fighters that when he gets hurt a little bit, he wants to stand there and slug it out.
Right.
So he's a little macho.
He's looking at the clock right now, though, so that punch might have affected him more than we think.
Well, good rights by Smith in this round.
And he's not dancing and he's not jabbing and moving as he did earlier. That right hand did some damage to Iron Barkley.
See the clock telling the story of this fight now. Barkley stays around. It should be his fight. 15 seconds.
Barkley turned flat-footed right after that right hand.
There'll be no knockout in this one. The chance of blade goes up. And this one's all over. Rand Barkley and Randy Smith. A tough 10-round middleweight battle. The way it started off, we didn't think it would go all the way, but it did. A real good matchup. Randy Smith seemed to tire in the middle of the fight. And Barkley built up the lead. His corner seems to be quite satisfied with the performance. I've got him winning at 7-3. We'll await the scoring of the judges.
Take another look at it now. There's the right hand. Now that's the one that slowed him up for the rest. See where his arms went? That slowed him up for the rest of the round. Barkley wins this fight on my scorecard on his boxing ability and his condition, Sam. He's in excellent physical condition and did everything he had to do. Here we go.
Marvin Goldberg has the cards. Here's the decision.
The winner is Rand Barkley.
Rand Barkley. His third win in 1985 as he outpoints.
This bout, 10 rounds, referee Johnny Colan. In the blue corner, from Trujillo Alto, Puerto Rico, wearing red and white trunks, weighing 161, Carlos Cano Boncourt. And in the red corner, from Harlem, New York, wearing black and red trunks, weighing 161 and a half, Iron Blade Barkley, 10 rounds.
Rand Barkley would be a little upset to know that he's 35. He's only 25 years old. Let's not age him too soon. Rand is 25 from the Bronx, and he's got a good following here tonight. He has really been coming on, gaining in confidence, as he told us before tonight's fight. This is his third straight fight here at the Felt Forum after fighting all of his fights prior to that in Atlantic City. His 4th fight here in 1985. He's won 3 in a row. Coming in with a record of 12-3. Iran Barkley is a hard hitter. A lot of power, but last time out against Randy Smith proved he could go 10 rounds against Carlos Betancourt, 26 years old, from Puerto Rico.
Barkley doesn't know anything but punch. He's a rugged fighter. He's a well-conditioned fighter. He loves to fight here. And he never, ever complains about an opponent. He'll fight anybody you put in front of him. He's had some tough fights, but he's looked good. He's looked progressively good all the way down the line. Better with each fight. Our referee is Johnny Colin.
Alexander, in his 3 losses, has been stopped once. That was by Robbie Sims back in January 1984 in a fight where he had Sims down and in serious trouble, but Sims came back and stopped him in the 6th round. Since then, Barkley has increased his stamina and has been able to withstand longer distances. He just wore down in that Sims fight. Betancourt comes in with a record of 17-10-1. Last fight, January 22nd of this year, won a 10-round decision over Alex Hilton in Montreal.
Barkley is a very dedicated fighter. He wants the whole thing. He wants the whole apple. He wants to go all the way. And he's almost to the point of being sullen. He's so dedicated to boxing.
Betancourt is ready to go.
All he has to do is take his time now. He doesn't have to throw in unnecessary punches. He can pinpoint them, and that's what he's doing.
There it is. Big right hand, and that's it. It's all over. They are not counting.
Don't even count.
Betancourt is out.
That last right hand was a beauty. It was right on the jaw, and I wish they had saved him that one. That was the one that really did the job.
The power of Iran Barkley. Started with a left, finished with a right. Betancourt is awake, being checked out by the doctors. Iran Barkley, as we mentioned, power in both hands. And just gaining in confidence, brimming with confidence coming into the fight tonight. Watch him take out Betancourt.
The last punch you're going to see is a right hand, and it's one, as I said, that I wish he did not have to take. That was really the crusher. He's in bad shape right now. Almost any kind of a punch, even a jab, would put him down at this point. But he took that right hand. You'll see him back off the ropes and catch it again. There's 2 right hands, but there's still a big one to come up yet. You see, when he gets off the ropes, he tries to spin out of there, get out in the middle of the ring, and he catches it. How many more right hands? There it is. That's the one. That's the one I wish he did not have to take. He just went down like a sack of flour.
Betancourt is on the stool now, still being checked out. Iran Barkley didn't get much work in tonight, but a powerful performance.
He's an exciting fighter, Sam. I think he's, as I said, he's such dedication. He wants nothing else in life but to move on up into the top of his division. Thank God. Betancourt was all right. He's on his feet, and he came out of it. But that last punch was really a devastating right hand.
Betancourt is okay. He goes back into his corner, still a little shaky. But he seems to be fine, and let's get the official time from Marvin Goldberg in the ring.
The time, 1 minute, 48 seconds of the first round. Winner by a knockout, Iron Blade Barkley.
Iran Barkley, 13-3, 9 knockouts. Iran Barkley with a big knockout over Carlos Betancourt. Still a little shaky as he leaves the ring. Tremendous power shown by Aran Barkley.
It's turning into a big year for him with 4 straight wins, stopping 3 opponents. Last month it was Carlos Betancourt out in 1 round. Troy Darrell is power. His record and reputation grow with each fight as he gets closer to the top. The action live right here. Hope you're enjoying it. One of our co-featured events coming up. Aran Barkley, the fine middleweight from New York, in the ring. Aran Barkley, 25 years old, has been coming on strong after an in-and-out career. His first couple of years as a pro, he has turned things on in 1985 and won 4 straight fights, including this one at the Felt Forum on April 26th when he knocked out Norberto Sabater in the 2nd round. You see the big left-hand power of Aran Barkley. Barkley came back to show us more power in July when he took care of Carlos Betancourt in the 1st. Again, the big left hand followed by some rights. Barkley's got power in both hands, and Betancourt fell hard in the 1st round. But lest you think that Aran Barkley is just a big belter, he showed us in May that he can be a boxer as well. He took on the rugged Randy Smith from Chicago and boxed very well for 10 rounds. Aran Barkley came away with a unanimous decision victory over Randy Smith. The up-and-coming Aran Barkley in the ring tonight, trying to make it 5 in a row in 1985. Aran Barkley, 13-3 overall with 9 knockouts. And it's been a good year in 1985. 1984 was a so-so year when he was 2-2. But he has come on, worked hard, trained hard, and is really fighting well. I talked with him moments ago about the improvement in his boxing.
Aran Barkley, you've won 4 straight in 1985, 3 by knockouts. You seem to be getting better and better. How good are you right now?
Oh, to myself, I'm great. I'm feeling great. I can see the improvement that I'm doing, and I have done, you know. I just want to keep pushing forward, you know, and move on to better things.
Was there one thing that made you determined to work and to get better, because there's been noticeable improvement this year?
Oh, yeah. I can definitely say Robbie Sims was the one that made me work hard and do what I had to do. And I can see that from his work, I improved a lot. You know, I got the experience from him, so now there's no stopping me.
That was a fight that you lost. Now you're determined to push on. What can we look for tonight?
Well, you could basically, I'm going into box and possibly go to 10 rounds. If not, it's not my problem.
The problem that Aran Barkley was talking about belongs to this man, Billy Showtime Lee, 25 years old. Billy Lee, a record of 8-2 with 5 knockouts. One of those losses came here at the Felt Forum in March when he lost an 8-round decision to Norberto Sabater. Problem with Billy Showtime Lee, he hasn't fought much. Just an average of 2 fights a year since turning pro in June of 1981. But we'll see what he has in store for Aran Barkley. Let's get the introductions from Marvin Goldberg.
This is the co-feature of 10 rounds. Referee Fred Ucci. In the red corner from Detroit, Michigan, wearing black and white trunks, weighing 161, Billy Showtime Lee. And in the blue corner from Harlem, New York, wearing gold and black trunks, weighing 161, Aran Blade Barkley, 10 rounds.
And you can hear by the response of the crowd that Aran Barkley is beginning to build up a following. People know who he is and know what he can do.
I was watching Billy Lee through all that. All the fans are yelling for Barkley, and Billy Lee just smiling at them, much as to say, I'm going to put him right in your lap.
Billy Lee from Detroit, Michigan. Turned pro in 1981, won both fights then. Fought twice in 82, 3 times in 83. That was his busiest year. Twice in 84, and this is only his 2nd fight now in 1985.
Well, I'll tell you, Mr. Lee in the black trunks has his work cut out for him tonight, because Iran Barkley is really a guy that's on the move.
Lee lost to Sabater, an 8-round decision in March. Sabater came back to face Barkley in April, and Barkley knocked out Sabater in the second. The only common opponent for these two fighters.
I would have to say that Iran Barkley, Sam, is the most improved fighter of all the fights we've had in here. Is the most improved fighter over the past year.
Caught Lee with a left hook. The fight that Barkley talked about being the turning point for him was in January 1984. Lee, very aggressive with a good combination. That was against Robbie Sims, a fine junior middleweight. And the two of them slugged it out. Barkley had Sims down and hurt, but Sims came back and stopped Barkley in the sixth. Since then, Barkley tired noticeably in that fight. Since then, he has worked much harder on his conditioning.
Barkley goes into every fight now, though, looking for the knockout. That may be a mistake. As long as he keeps knocking guys over, I guess it's not a mistake. But I don't think a fighter should go into the fight looking for the knockout right from the start.
They're trading well. Lee has done well thus far. Landing on Barkley.
Barkley, I'm sorry, Sam. He's getting off slow. Usually starts faster than this.
Barkley has worked on his defense, but he still takes a lot of punches.
Lee is a very relaxed fighter. There's nothing tight about him up in that ring. He's in there against a real good fighter. I'm sure he knows that. He's very, very relaxed.
Landed a good right hand again on Barkley. Barkley, as we mentioned, has power with both hands, but he likes to throw that left hook. That's usually the start of things when he gets the power going.
Throws a sharp right hand, Sam. Very, very good right hand. It's a short, powerful punch.
Barkley does his training at ringside gym. Good double up left, body in the head. There you see Barkley using that left hook well. Lee was able to tie up that right hand and land the right hand. Good right hand by Lee, but Barkley answers back with a strong combination. A good left hook.
Barkley.
Lee got shaken by a left hook. You're watching professional boxing from Madison Square Garden, Spelt Forum. Scheduled for 10.
Barkley was just about getting to showtime at the end of that first round.
Looked like it took a little while for Barkley to get warm. He seems to be warmed up now. Lee looked like he had the edge of things, the better of things early in the first round.
Lee is reaching him with that right hand. He's not getting anything over there that's very big, but he's landing the right hand.
Good work with the jab by Barkley. Boy, I like to see them use the jab.
He's strong. Barkley is very strong.
Sit back and play.
There's that left hook. The right glanced off the shoulder of Lee.
Don't hold him, get out of there. Keep punching, don't hold him. Okay, get off
there. Lee did not look all that good in the fight against Sabater. Looks pretty good tonight. Barkley trying to find Lee with that left hand.
Barkley's not getting off. They can't seem to get a fluid motion going.
Just came up short with those jabs. Lee tying up the left. Barkley looking to use that right hand. Fred Yusi steps in. That left hook glanced off the shoulder. But Barkley on the attack. Lee covering up.
Got him right there. He can go to work right there. His arms are free. Lee is there. And he stopped punching.
The uppercut almost knocked the mouthpiece out. Good left got in by Barkley. He took a right from Lee.
You see Barkley's fight right here. He's a good inside fighter. That's his type of fight.
Lee was in some trouble. Got out of it there. Lee's hands are down. He's wide open.
His body's been wide open all the way through.
Left hook
hasn't capitalized on it.
Good left hook by Barkley. Lee looks a little shaky. He's still coming in. Barkley using the left well. I like that combination. Left to the body, left to the head.
That's it. You throw it once, you can throw it twice.
Barkley looking for the big right hand. Again, Lee blocking some of it with the left shoulder. Lead in round 2, Iran Barkley on the attack, landing the big left to the body, a good one. And a left hook lands again to the head. Barkley, right hand uppercut, knocks the mouthpiece out from Bill Lee's mouth.
Really digging in now.
End of round 2, and a shaky Bill Lee heads for his corner. As Iran Barkley starts to land those big bombs. A right hand uppercut, very effective in that round. And he scored well with the left hook as well. He really slowed Bill Lee down and finally took advantage of him against the ropes.
He's wearing him down. Another look at the action. You see that right hand uppercut by Barkley. Just
here it comes.
Fighting sign. There it is. There's the mouthpiece. It's on the way out.
Now let's go across the way later on. There's Bill Lee. Later on in the round, the final seconds, the mouthpiece was knocked out.
Tom Hoover, being a nice guy, one of the inspectors at the New York State Athletic Commission, walked over and handed it to him. Usually they throw it at him. Tom, a former member of the New York Knicks basketball team, now a member of the State Athletic Commission.
Round 3 scheduled for 10. Barkley has been getting better as time wears on in this fight.
He's got 2. Showtime lead. He delivered the message in the last round, and he's, I think, about ready to go to work.
Tell you what's a very good combination by Lee, and a good right hand by Lee.
Still able to throw that right hand and land it.
Barkley still getting hit by some right hands. Still leaving himself open. What's been very effective for Barkley has been that left hook to the body of Bill Lee. And he starts again with that left to the body. Good combination in close by Barkley.
There's that double hook real well, body and head.
Lee's open. He's breathing heavily. His punches not really bothering Iran Barkley. But Barkley not showing great defense. His offense is the key to his defense. Sam Rosen and John Condon ringside at Madison Square Garden's Felt Forum. You're watching professional boxing. This is our co-featured event. Middleweights Iran Barkley and Bill Lee. Barkley all over Lee. Barkley in the gold, Lee in the black. And Lee holding on is hurt.
Head and body.
And ready to go.
And it's not going to be long.
And there it is. This one is going to be all over.
That was up before.
Lee just can't get up. He rolls over. They might as well stop it right here. Lee is on Dream Street as Fred Busey looks and stops the fight.
Smart move. Smart move, Fred. He was going nowhere but down, so it was a smart move on the part of the referee, Fred Busey.
It just kept getting better and better for Iran Barkley as he talks to his trainer, Bobby Miles. Iran Barkley has done it again. His 5th consecutive win in 1985, 4 by knockouts. His 10th career knockout in 14 wins as he improves his record to 14-3. And Billy Lee rests on the stool after taking the big punches of Iran Barkley. And again, the two-handed power of Iran Barkley.
Take another look at it now. Is Barkley really going to work on Showtime? Showtime is now about to call it a night. It's not far from here.
Good body
shot. The body punches, and he's He's operating does almost everything he wants to do right now. All the fight has gone out of Bill Lee.
The two body shots really weakened him dramatically, and the two right hands send him down. Mouthpiece out. Lee tried to get up, rolled over. He's okay on his feet. Marvin Goldberg will give us the official time.
The time, 1 minute and 58 seconds of the third round. Winner by a TKO, Troy Darrell.
Well, wrong, Marvin. Let's do it again.
One more time, Marvin.
And Iran a little upset.
Darrell doesn't have to come out.
Not bad to be mistaken for Troy Darrell. Take no offense. Troy Darrell is an outstanding fighter. But Iran Barkley wants his own recognition, and he deserves it.
Showtime got beat by two guys tonight.
Tough night for him. Iran Barkley stops Billy Showtime Lee in the third round. Iran's coming over to talk to John Condon in a moment.
Happy after this win.
I'm happy, but I didn't have really too much boxing, you know, for this fight. So I was a little tight, you know, and I was loose and relaxed, and I knew I could get him, but I wasn't myself.
Yeah, you seemed to get off slow.
Yeah, I started off slow. I felt a little tight. He was a little awkward, you know. But I'm glad for the win, but I like my performance to be up to par.
You didn't get off as fast as you usually get off.
Yeah.
You usually charge out of there and you really go to work.
But I really didn't feel, I felt a little down for some reason. It was all my fault, but I'm gonna handle it. I'm glad for the win, but I just gotta go back and do it better.
I think we're going to take another look at the knockdown. Here we are.
Yeah, well, I threw an uppercut and a right hand, and then I figured I'd throw another right hand over the top, and come back with a left to the up and over. Then I felt two body shots, which was a good dig to the body.
Right now you're Iran Barkley.
Right now I'm Iran Barkley. But up again. He was holding. I knew he was hurt. He was holding me. I figured I'd come across. Then I tried to push him off, which was a bad mistake. I threw a wide hook there where I know I hurt him. And then I came back with another leaping one in the right hand. But, and another right hand, and that finished him.
Did he have a tough style?
Yes, he did. He had a very awkward style. And I didn't really want to, I was being careless, you know. I didn't want to just run into things because I seen that I was getting sloppy. So I said, he makes me look sloppy. So just slow down and think about what you're going to do. And which I did, you know. I figured I said I'd jab, you know. But he was very awkward. I'm happy for the win.
Okay, you weren't happy with the start of the fight. You were happy with the end of it. Shake it off. You know,
yeah,
whatever you got.
I'll shake it off.
You're the most improved fighter we've had in here this year, that's for sure.
Well, I'm going to try to keep on improving. I will improve more and more because I'm right there.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Good luck to you, Iran. Back to Sam Rosen.
Thank you, John. And the crowd awaits.
It's against an opponent because you took him in 3 rounds last time you met?
Well, I don't take nobody lightly, and I don't take no prisoners or nobody. You know, I don't take them light. I don't call them cream puffs. I don't call them garbage cans or whatever they want to be. He's a fighter just like me. He got 2 hands, 2 arms, and he's coming out to do a job, but far beyond his distance. He will not pass this job.
Now, you have an air of determination about you that we haven't seen in quite a while. Where did this all come from?
Where? Within me. I mean, I'm just filled with madness. Things is happening. I'm climbing a hard, long road, and I can just see just about this much sunlight. I'm still seeing darkness. I don't want to see no more darkness. I want to see sunlight.
There's been a lot of sunlight for Iran Barkley in 1985. 5 straight wins, the last 4 here at Madison Square Garden's Felt Forum. We're set for the introductions. Let's go back to Marvin Goldberg.
This bout, 10 rounds. In the blue corner, from Brooklyn, New York, wearing blue and gold trunks, weighing 161.5, Norberto the Savage Sabater. And in the red corner, from the Bronx, New York, wearing red and white trunks, weighing 159.5, Iron Blade Barkley. 10 rounds. Referee Carl Schroeder.
Carl Schroeder is the referee, calls the fighters to the center of the ring. These two fighters met here at the Felt Forum on April 26th, and Barkley stopped Sabater in the second round. So now it's rematch time. Sabater, his first fight since being knocked out by Barkley. Sabater got off to a great start in his professional career. 1979 and 1980. He was unbeaten for 2.5 years. Then Frank the Animal Fletcher beat him. Alex Ramos beat him, and things started to slide back for Sabater. He comes in with a record of 23-6, 9 knockouts. Sabater won here at the Felt Forum earlier this year, March 25th, an 8-round decision over Billy Lee, and then met up with Barkley.
Our referee in there now is Carl Schroeder.
As we mentioned, Barkley was training for a New York State Championship fight against Horacio Perez. That fell out. Perez fell out. Barkley is here to get the work in. Barkley has been busy. This is his 6th fight in 1985.
It's tough getting fights for Barkley now, Sam. When a fighter falls out and Harold Western, the matchmaker here at the Garden, has to go looking for another opponent, everybody says, who wants to fight him? That's the case with a lot of fighters. Fighters like Buddy McGirt, fighters like Roy Darrell.
From Barkley, watch out. Outstanding power. Knows how to use it well and knows how to finish an opponent effectively.
He's only had 17 fights, but he fights like a fighter who's been around for quite some time. He's got a real professional style. He doesn't waste any punches. He's a good defensive fighter, and he hits. He hits hard. 10 knockouts in 17 fights.
Now, if you're Sabater, certainly you don't want to get inside in here and mix it up with Barkley.
That's right. If he does that, that's not very bright on his part. He should try to move more and do whatever he can, but he should try to stay away from the power of Iran Barkley. It's a little difficult to do that because the power comes from both sides. He can hit good on the right side and the left side.
Left hook by Sabater. Less than a minute to go in round 1. Scheduled for 10. Took away. This is not likely to go that long. Barkley last fought on August the 8th against Billy Lee. The man Sabater defeated in an 8-round decision, and Barkley stopped Lee in the 3rd round. Prior to that, a 1st-round knockout over Carlos Boncourt. Left hook. Barkley landing and going to the body. Final seconds, round 1. You're watching professional boxing from Madison Square Garden's Felt Forum. 1 ended with Barkley landing the big left hooks on Sabater again. And down goes Sabater.
He went down from a jab.
They exchanged jabs, and Sabater went straight back.
Sabater is not hurt at all. He's okay. It was more of a surprise punch than anything else.
But again, the indication of the power. Sabater looks just a little bit shaky.
He's a little awkward. His feet aren't together, really, his legs.
It ended in the 2nd round last time they met. And Barkley, as I mentioned, a strong finisher. His
legs are gone. Sabater's legs are gone. Just rushing forward, then he collapsed without getting hit.
Big right hand by Barkley. Sabater in deep trouble here. This is where Barkley put an end to it last time. And here he goes with a double up left hook.
He hasn't missed a punch except that right hand, that right uppercut.
Good left again by Barkley. Tremendous power in the left hook by Iran Barkley. Sabater trying to cover up, and his legs are gone, and down to the right hand. should stop it right here. The count is 5.
He won't get up. He won't
And
get
it's
up.
all over. Carl Schroeder takes out the mouthpiece.
He's okay.
Sabater is finished.
He's okay. He's awake. Everything is okay with him. He looked up to see where Barkley was, and they're making him stay down as a precautionary measure. He's okay. The doctors are overlooking him. He wants to get up. He's okay. I can tell you that. All the reactions that he's showing here prove that he's okay, but the doctors are taking a very special look at him, shining a light in his eyes to see how his reflexes are. And he's anxious to get up off the canvas, but they told him to take his time. Now he's okay. He's up, and I'm sure he'll be on his feet in a few moments.
When John talks about the fact that a fighter's legs are gone, you watch Sabater against the ropes. He could not move off the ropes. His legs were spread wide apart, and he just could not move, and was just a wide open target. And Barkley landed the big right hand. Al Gavin there in the red shirt administering to Norberto Sabater. Watch what happens here up against the ropes. Big left by Barkley.
Look where his legs are. His legs are east and west. His legs were gone earlier in the round. And as I mentioned earlier, Barkley hardly misses a punch. Only one punch that I saw that he missed was a right uppercut.
See, now, if Sabater had any legs, he could spin off the ropes to the right,
exactly.
but he can't. And there is the right hand.
Was right flush on the button. He was all right from there on. You see his eyes? He's okay. From that point on, he was all right. He went down. Of course, he has a concussion, but he got up. He's on his feet now. He's talking with Al Gavin, and everything is okay with him, thank God.
Let's get the official time from Marvin Goldberg.
The time, 1 minute and 21 seconds of the second round. Winner by a TKO, Aaron "The Blade" Barkley.
Well, no different than the first time.
That's right.
It was the second round TKO in the first meeting back in April. They do it again here. And it's Aaron Barkley doing it again. His 6th consecutive win in 1985. His 5th straight here at Madison Square Garden's Felt Forum. Aaron Barkley with another impressive showing. This is professional boxing from the Felt Forum in Madison Square Garden.
Aware that he was there, you know, and I wanted to be sure that he was aware of that, so.
You're coming on like a steamroller. You know that, Aaron, don't you?
Oh, yeah, well, I'm working very hard.
Are you in the gym every day? You're really working?
Every day. And it's a long, dark road. I'm trying to get a little light to it.
When you see yourself in action, we'll take another look at you now. In action, we're going to show you the knockdown. Here you go. Tell me what you're trying to do.
Well, first I hit him with an uppercut.
Yeah.
Then I came across with another uppercut. Then I wanted to come to the body again, come back, bring it up. And I wanted to bring the right hand over, which I did. When I backed up right hand, then I put a jab back to him, to the stomach. Down there, I knew I hurt him. Brung it back up.
It's all over right here, isn't it?
Yeah, right here, I knew he was finished.
Here comes the
with
right
hand. Right here, bang.
There it is, that's it.
I knew I was behind that.
Thank you.
All my force and my weight was behind that. Just the way I wanted to time it.
Okay, good fight, good knockout, another win. Keep going the way you're going.
I would like to say hello to some fans up in Rockland County. This is dedicated to my friend Mike.
Okay.
All right.
Frank, opening bout. Let's go to ring announcer Michael Buffer.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, this bout is for 6 rounds, and it's in the middleweight division. The referee for this contest is Joe Cortez. And now introducing in the red corner, weighing 161 3/4 pounds. He's wearing red trunks with white trim from Indianapolis, Indiana. He's undefeated with a record of 4-0. Ladies and gentlemen, Frank Minton. And in the blue corner, wearing the black trunks with red trim, he weighs 159 1/2 pounds. He comes from the Big Apple, New York City. His record, 5-1, 3 by knockout. Introducing Aaron "Blade" Barkley.
New Jersey State Athletic Commission, and I'm here to enforce them. When I say break, I want you both to break clean. If there's a knockdown, the fighter's scoring the knockdown. Must go to the farthest neutral corner, and you say it ends, I'll tell you to come out. fighter going down must take the mandatory 8 count. The 3 knockdown rule has been waived in the state. It's up to my discretion whether I'm going to let the fight continue or stop it, all right? Watch your low punches, your kidney punches, and your rabbit punches. I don't want any holding and hitting, all right? Shake hands, come on, fighting out the belt.
What did you say about it?
Joe Cortez is the referee. Iran Barkley in the black trunks. On the right of your screen, there is Iran Barkley from the Bronx, New York. 5-1, going against Frank Minton. There's Frank Minton from Indianapolis, who's 4-0, and we've seen him on ESPN before, and he's looked quite good. In fact, his manager says the people in the Midwest have seen him so much on ESPN or seen what he can do that they're staying away from him. The only place he can fight is on the East Coast.
Well, Frank is much better than most 4-0 fighters, and our viewers have seen that before, and they'll see it again tonight. This shapes up as an excellent matchup. We've seen Iran Barkley also in some real wars. An excellent body puncher and a good ring technician there.
Barkley is 23 years old. He's in the black trunks. I mentioned 5-1. Al mentioned his only loss was to Oscar Silas. He's been fighting pro since October of last year. So he's been busy. 10 months as a pro.
Barkley has a very good left hook. We saw him throw it, although Minton picked it off there. But he leaves himself open with that hook. It's a real wide hook, and we saw Silas exploit that with a lead right. And there's Minton trying to do the same.
Minton in excellent shape. 161 3/4. Midway through the first round, scheduled for 6. Minton is 27 years old, born and raised in Indianapolis. Had a good amateur career in Indiana. 4-time Golden Gloves champion in Indiana. Nice left hook by Barkley. And Minton answers back with a nice combination. A good straight right hand got in there.
That left hook by Barkley woke up Frank Minton. He's the kind of fighter that he will go at his own even pace unless you force him to fight all out. And when he does, as we just saw, he is a very good puncher.
For caution from Joe Cortez to Frank Minton to keep his punches up. Minton in the red trunks, Barkley in the black trunks. Glancing left hook by Barkley, scored on the top of the head. Minton.
Frank comes in here off a first-round knockout win over Arthur Ratliff June 14th in his hometown Indianapolis.
Half a minute to go, round 1. Barkley again scoring the left hook. Barkley worked with Davey Moore. Moore is training for the Duran fight. Final seconds, round 1. Scheduled for 6. Frank Minton in the red trunks from Indianapolis. Iran Barkley, named the Blade, from the Bronx, New York, in the black trunks. Good flurry by Minton to end the first round. Barkley comes out quick with a left hook.
Minton has good hand speed. I think he may have an edge there over Barkley, although Barkley himself can punch in combination. Good right hand by Iran.
It's a good first round.
Very good. These are two evenly matched fighters, and I think they're both about at the same level of their careers.
Barkley is an amateur. In 1982, lost in the Golden Gloves finals in New York to Dennis Milton. How did you score that first round?
A very, very slight edge to Frank Minton based upon those flurries in the last minute. Good right by Minton. They are exchanging now, as we always see in Iran Barkley's fights.
Barkley landing with both hands.
Good counter punching there by Frank Minton. That's something he does very well. I'm